Hey people, I'm going to show you how to make gravy for... That must have looked good on video. What you're going to do is you're going to start off with 2 cups. I'm using a little bit more than 2 cups. You want to start off with 2 cups of chicken broth or turkey juice or some type of liquid. Whatever you want to use, you need some type of a liquid base. So 2 cups of liquid. Then you are going to use 3 tablespoons of butter. Half of a stick of butter is 4 tablespoons, so I want to make a little bit more than the recipe calls for, but this is about 3 tablespoons of butter. So 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 cups of broth, or maybe a little bit more, like I said, if you want. Most of this recipe is just you do what you want. Everything is not really critical. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning. Add whatever seasoning you want, pepper, salt, or just whatever you want to put in there. Again, it's pretty much up to you what you want to do with this. So 3 to 4 teaspoons, half a stick of butter. Just stick with half a stick of butter or a little bit less. 2 cups of broth or maybe a little bit less. And some seasoning, and I'm going to wait for the butter to melt and then we will continue. You want to get the liquid to boil, so wait for your liquid to boil and the butter to melt. You can see that the broth is almost ready to boil. So again, 2 cups of any type of liquid broth. You can use chicken broth, beef broth, juice from the turkey pan or chicken pan. But you want about 2 cups. You want to use 3 to 4 tablespoons of butter. 3 is what the recipe calls for. If you're making a little bit more, you can use a little bit more butter with a little bit more broth. Seasoning, whatever you want to put in there, pepper or salt. Once you get this stuff boiling, that's the thing you're waiting for, is for it to boil. Now you can see it boiling. All we have here is regular liquid. We need to thicken this up now to make gravy. So you want to put in 1, 2, 3 tablespoons, not teaspoons, 3 tablespoons of flour. Now I am using more than 3 because I want the turkey gravy, or this gravy, to be thicker. A lot of people, to avoid this big hassle now, will mix the flour into a bowl, a small bowl, so they don't have to break up all these clumps. And that is a good idea, but I'm just going to do all of this in one pan, so I'll be back in a minute or 2 after this starts to break down and the flour starts to break apart. And you can see that the flour is still all clumped up, and like I told you before, that is why people will put this in a small bowl and mix the flour to try to break it all down before they put it into a pan where they have to start breaking it apart like this. But it's up to you which way you want to go with that. I'm going to let this break down a little bit more and keep stirring. Keep the liquid boiling on a low, very low temperature so you don't burn anything, or boil it all off, and soon the flour will start to break down and this liquid will start to thicken into a gravy. I'm going to use a whisk. A whisk should make this a little bit easier to break down instead of using that wooden spatula. My mistake was that I was using a teaspoon instead of a tablespoon for measuring, so that's why it wasn't thickening. But now you can see I've got a little bit more than 3 tablespoons of flour in here, and we're starting to get a thick gravy type mixture. So almost there. And there you have it. That's how you make gravy. 3 tablespoons or more. Not teaspoons, 3 tablespoons of flour, and if you need more to thicken the gravy to your liking, that's fine. 2 cups of any type of liquid broth, and some seasoning, and about 3 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons, which is half a stick of butter. And that is the gravy. You can see there's a little bit of flour left in it, it's a little chunky, but you heat it up, and the more you heat it, you can start to see now, that's gravy. And it tastes delicious, and it is much cheaper than buying it in the store, and it's better, and you should have the ingredients at home. So that's how you make turkey gravy or chicken gravy. Watch my other videos. Feel free to link this to anything you want to. Go to my main page if you want. Click on donate and help support me. Do a thumbs up, a like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Hopefully this helped you, and enjoy your meal.